Anderson and the Tigers are in New York on Monday night to take on the Yankees. And in the top of the first, Andy Hawkins, the Yankee starter, gets some defensive support from third baseman Mike Blowers, who makes a nifty grab running into the crowd on this foul pop by John Shelby. Nice catch by Mike Blowers. Then in the bottom of the second, Blowers hit the plate, and he would line this drive right up the middle, and it would hit second base umpire Larry McCoy, who would suffer a fractured wrist on the play, and he would leave the game, although he would return about 3 innings later. This ruled a dead ball single for Blowers, and that would help highlight a big inning for the Yankees. Bob Guerin bats still in the bottom of the second, and he would double, and that would score Jesse Barfield from second base as the Yankees take a 1-0 lead. Then still in the bottom of the second, the Yankees would score 2 more times as Alvaro Espinosa would double off Detroit starter Steve Searcy, and this would score Blowers and Guerin, and the Yankees take a 3-0 lead. Kevin Moss would follow that with a 2-run single as New York takes a 5-run lead while batting around in the bottom of the second. But in the top of the fourth, Mickey Tettleton of Detroit with this mammoth home run into the upper deck at Yankee Stadium, a 3-run blast, his first as a Tiger, and this would cut the lead to 5-3 as he homers off Yankee starter Andy Hawkins. Then Hawkins would surrender a home run to Travis Fryman still in the top of the fourth. So 2 Tiger homers in the top of the fourth. This a 2-run blast, and this would tie the score at 5 apiece as the Yankees squandered their 5-run lead. And the game would stay tied until Stump Merrill's club would lose in the top of the ninth with the bases loaded. Steve Farr would surrender this bloop ground rule double to Cecil Fielder, and this would drive in Tony Phillips and Lloyd Mosby, Detroit taking a 7-5 lead. And then the finishing touches applied by Rob Deere, who hits a 3-run home run off Farr, his third of the year. And the Tigers score 5 times in the top of the ninth to win it by the final of 10-5. The winner is Jerry Don Gleaton, who's 1-0, while Greg Cadaret is the Yankee loser. He falls to 0-3.
Baseball action from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and there you are looking at Greg Harris as he sits on the bench. He would leave the game after just throwing 1 pitch as he had tightness in his right pitching elbow, and he would leave this game and give way to Mike Maddox. Maddox pitching here in the bottom of the first inning. Mike Felder with the perfect drag bunt. Robbie Thompson scores from third base, and the Giants lead it 1-0. Then with the game tied up at 1 apiece in the top of the third inning, Tony Gwynn, who went 4 for 4 tonight, hits a triple off the fence in right field. Tony Fernandez scores, RBI number 8 for Gwynn, and the Padres take the lead at 2-1. The very next batter would be Fred McGriff, and to end the top half of the third inning, McGriff trying to drive in Tony Gwynn, but he would be robbed on a beautiful backhanded catch by Kevin Bass. In the bottom of the third inning, Robbie Thompson will come up. Already with a triple in the game, he hits a solo home run to left field. For Thompson, it's his second home run of this young season, and the game is tied up at 2 apiece. And still in the bottom of the third inning, Matt Williams comes up. He hits a single into right field. Kevin Mitchell scores, RBI number 8 for Williams, and the Giants take the lead at 3-2. In the top of the fourth inning, the Padres regain the lead when Bip Roberts comes up. And here with the bases loaded, he hits a single into left field. Gerald Clark and Sean Abner both score, RBIs number 4 and 5 for Roberts, and the Padres lead it by a score of 4-3. Then the top of the seventh inning with the game tied up at 4 apiece, Benito Santiago with a single to center field. Tony Gwynn scores, RBI number 8, and the Padres lead it 5-4. The next batter, Gerald Clark, hits a single up the middle. Fred McGriff scores, and the Padres lead it 6-4. RBI number 11 for Gerald Clark. Finally, in the bottom of the ninth inning, Robbie Thompson comes up, and Thompson will hit a double down the left field line. Robbie Thompson, with this hit, hits for the cycle with a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. It's all for naught, though, as the Padres win this one 7-5. Pat Clements with the win, his record 1-0. Trevor Wilson takes the loss, his record 0-2. Pick up action in the bottom of the first inning. Chris James at the plate, and he is facing the Royal starter Kevin Apier. And here, James gets a single into center field. Carlos Baerga scores, and the Indians lead it 1-0. Then the bottom of the fourth inning, Joel Skinner will come up and hit an excuse me single into right field. Bo Alred scores, and then Turner Ward will be safe at the plate as Mike McFarland doesn't get the tag down in time, and the Indians take a 3-0 lead. Still in the bottom of the fourth inning, Jerry Brown comes up against Apier and hits a single back up the middle. Joel Skinner and Alex Cole both score. RBIs number 4 and 5 for Brown, and the Indians are on top by a score of 5-0. Then to finish out the fourth inning, Chris James steps up to the plate and smacks a 2-run home run to left center field. Jerry Brown also scores. For Chris James, it's home run number 1. It's also his second and third RBIs of the ball game, and the Indians take a 7-0 lead. In the top of the fifth inning, Charles Nagy, who's pitching a fine ball game to this point, in fact, he's pitching a perfect game, strikes out Kurt Stillwell to end the top half of the fifth inning. For Charles Nagy, it's his third strikeout of the ball game. Moving on now to the bottom of the fifth inning, Jose Escobar comes up, and he wraps a single into left field. Turner Ward scores. For Escobar, it's his first major league hit. Escobar, after spending 12 seasons in the minor leagues, comes up with his first major league hit and RBI tonight in Cleveland, and the Indians lead it 8-0. Then the top of the seventh inning, with the Indians up now 9-0, Jim Eisenreich doubles down the right field line. He was the first batter up in this inning, and that breaks up Nagy's perfect game. And then later in the seventh inning, with the Indians now up by a score of 9-1, Kirk Gibson will hit a 3-run home run to deep right field. This will come off Charles Nagy as Kevin Seitzer and George Brett both score. Home run number 4 for Gibson, RBIs number 7, 8, and 9, and the Indians' lead is cut to 9-4. But in the bottom of the eighth inning, Carlos Baerga will hit a solo home run to left field, his first home run of the season, to give the Indians a 10-4 lead. That's the way this game winds up, as Charles Nagy evens his record at 1-1. Kevin Apier takes the loss. His record drops to 1-2. For Kansas City, 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors. For the Cleveland Indians, 10 runs, 19 hits, and 4 errors. Once again, Cleveland winning this one by a score of 10-4.
California, top of the second inning, Dave Valley with a base hit to right field off of Jim Abbott. Dave Winfield throws home trying to get Pete O'Brien, but O'Brien slides in safely, and we're tied up at 1 apiece. We'll move now to the top of the third inning. Henry Cotto will hit a foul ball into the Angels' dugout. On the way, the ball will strike a pyramid of cups. Bottom of the third inning now, Jay Buhner in right field for the Mariners. He'll field Dick Schofield's flare down the right field line, slides into the dirt, but he'll come up firing to second base, nailing Schofield, going for the double. A nice strong arm by the Mariners right fielder, Jay Buhner. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Gary Gaetti will break the tie with a base hit off of Brian Holman. Goes into center field, a ground ball base hit. Wally Joyner comes in to score from second for Gaetti. It's his 7th RBI this season, and it's 2-1 California. Top of the eighth inning now, still 2-1 when Tracy Jones will get a base hit to left field off of Jim Abbott. Harold Reynolds will come in to score for Seattle. This game is tied at 2. We're still in the top of the eighth inning when Edgar Martinez will double to left field off of Mark Eichhorn. Tracy Jones will come home ahead of the Luis Apollonia throw, and it's 3-2 Seattle. They will add a fielder's choice run to make it 4-2, and then Jeff Robinson would come in with the bases loaded, and he'll strike out Dave Valley to end the top half of the eighth inning without further damage, and it's 4-2 Seattle after 7.5 innings of play in Anaheim. Move now to the bottom of the eighth inning. Wally Joyner up for California, and he'll get the Angels within a run with a solo homer to right center field, his first home run this season, and it's 4-3 Seattle through 8 innings of play. In the bottom of the ninth inning, Mike Jackson pitched a 1-2-3 inning, getting Gary Gaetti to ground out to end the ball game. The Seattle Mariners winning streak is up to 7 games as they win 4-3. Brian Holman, the winner, he's 2-1. Abbott, the loser, he's 0-3. Mike Jackson with his first save.
Host the Atlanta Braves. Top of the first, Francisco Cabrera bounces this single up the middle. This would score Terry Pendleton, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead against Dodger starter Bob Ojeda. Then Dodger manager Tom Lasorda would see the Braves score again as Jeff Blauser drills the single to right field. Watch as Darryl Strawberry comes up with a throw to Mike Scioscia. Dave Justice barrels into Scioscia, and he can't hold on to the ball. Justice leaps back and touches the plate, so he scores to make it 2-0. Another look at the collision. Scioscia, one of the best catchers in the game at blocking the plate, this time comes up on the short end. Steve Avery on the mound for the Braves would work 6 innings, striking out 4 before he'd have to leave this game with the blister. Here he strikes out Strawberry to end the bottom of the first. One of the bigger Brave fans these days, Jane Fonda on hand in Los Angeles, and she would see in the bottom of the second Eddie Murray get a run back for the Dodgers with this solo home run, his second of the year, as this makes it 2-1 in favor of Atlanta. But that would be the extent of the Los Angeles offense on this Monday night. In the top of the fifth, Ron Gant with this RBI single. This scores Otis Nixon to make it 3-1. Cabrera would add an RBI single in the fifth to make it 4-1. Then the Braves would put this one out of reach.